Hi everyone, it's Jody from An Eye for Beauty, and today is Sunday, February 26th, 2023. And this message is for this week's energy or whenever you're listening to the message. Last week, many of you reached out and loved the crystal, pick a crystal reading. So today I wanted to switch it up for you guys again. And what we are doing this week is I've pulled one card from 3 different decks. And so there are many different spirit guides. There's guardian angels. There's different angel groups for different things like angels of physical fitness, angels of parking, angels of abundance. There's the crystal angels. The list goes on and on. Then there are the fairies and the gnomes and the celestial beings. And then, of course, there are the archangels. And so this week what I did was I pulled 3 cards, one from the fairies, one from the archangels, and one from the crystal angels. So think about that for a second. Which energy are you feeling called to listen to the reading for? Obviously, you can listen to the whole reading, but try to connect. Fairy energy is light and mischievous and playful, and you connect with it if you're someone that walks in nature or goes to the beach or just loves to hike or something like that. Maybe you want to go with the fairy energy. Archangels are one of the top beings of angels, the category of angels, and each one has a specialty. Maybe you want to see which archangel is coming through. Or we have the grouping of the crystal angels, and each card represents a certain crystal and then obviously a message. So decide now. And we're going to begin with our first reading, which is the fairy angel reading. So here's the card. And the actual card is the King of Spring. So this deck is more of a tarot-like deck, even though it's calling upon the fairy energy. And this card, let me just take a minute to look at it. Okay. So the King of Spring card that's coming in, the fairy energy is coming in and saying to you, you are a leader. And you are being called to action at this time. You are someone that is very wise and very intuitive. You are someone that stands in their power. You are someone that comes across though very funny and theatrical. You are someone that is very inspiring to others. And I think this card is coming through because you might kind of know that, but you're not 100% guaranteed to understand exactly who you are. You have self-doubt that comes in often. But you are being invited to really step into the spotlight of whatever it is that you are a leader in. You are being called to action, and maybe you already know what that action step is, and maybe you don't. But you are being called to begin or continue to step into the spotlight because there is something that you are needing to speak about and share with others because it's going to help and serve far more people than you realize. This king comes out in the springtime. So it's that time of year when we are rebirthing, where we are blooming. So even though we're not in the spring right now, you are being called to begin that process right now. And if it is something that you are currently doing at this time, this is your confirmation that you are in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. Do not doubt it. I'm going to pull one more card, which I also wanted to do, and I'm going to pull it from the it's a Moonology deck. It's called Starry Beginnings. And the reason why I'm doing this is because we had a super new moon in the Pisces energy this past Monday. And so I want to see what goes with that card for you who chose the fairy energy. Okay, so part of stepping into the spotlight is not being so rigid. It is about letting go of a fixed plan. And perhaps in your mind, you want to do it a certain way. You want to stand up or write or speak or whatever it is that you're working on in a specific way. But you are being called to let go of this fixed, rigid plan that you have in your mind of how it's supposed to be done, and instead just begin or continue. Maybe you've been procrastinating and you're being called upon now to be a little more spontaneous and a little less rigid, because there's so much that you have to offer to a specific situation or cause at this time. So you need to lead and begin the process today. And that is coming from our fairy energy. And I just wanted to see the card number, but that has no relevance. Okay, so that's our first reading. Our second reading is going to be coming from the Archangels. And the Archangel, this is a great card. The Archangel Chamuel is saying, be what you want to attract. Let me just put that up there again. See the color of light? His color of light is that pink color. He works with, let me show it to you again. He works with the heart chakra. This is a great archangel to call upon when you are working on opening up the heart space. Whether it is that you are blocking your heart because you don't want to be hurt, or you've been hurt in the past and therefore you're afraid to get hurt again, or you just have a guard around your heart because you're not trusting of others, or you've been hurt in the past, so you have this need to forgive, but you're not sure how to actually do that. This Archangel Chamuel comes in and helps us with love and self-love and compassion to yourself and even to others that might have wronged you. But what I love about this particular card is that he is asking you to be what you want to attract. So think about right now the people in your life, the relationships in your life, the situations in your life that you are essentially attracting. Things happen in our lives because we're attracting them to us. So on the outside, I might seem very calm and I might seem very easygoing, but on the inside, I might be very nervous. I might have a lot of doubt. I might have a lot of judgment. Let's use judgment as an example. So on the inside, I'm very judging, but on the outside, you wouldn't know it. This is not really me, by the way, but this is me sharing an example. And I'm judging. And so nobody really knows that about me. But I seem to be attracting all these people into my life that judge. And when they judge, I get annoyed. But why am I getting annoyed when internally I'm doing that, whether it's me looking at myself in the mirror or me looking at others? And I'm wondering why I keep attracting all of these people that are so judgmental in my life. But the truth of the matter is, if I don't really know who I am on the inside, and I'm not really aware of the fact that I'm very judgmental, and I'm not really self-reflecting to the point to realize that I do that so many times, I'm not understanding that I'm attracting to myself what I am. And you could take this example in so many different aspects of your life. And I see this often, especially in the judgment category, which is why I'm using it as an easy example. Hopefully you're understanding it. Is that a lot of times we look outside of ourselves and we don't understand why we keep attracting this relationship, or why we keep attracting this kind of job, or why we keep attracting something in our lives that makes us have this pattern of thought that isn't serving us. But essentially, it's because we are attracting to ourselves what is going on inside. And if we don't really know who we are inside, and we don't do that self-growth and self-reflection enough to be aware of who we are inside, we are going to continue to attract that into our lives until it's like, ding dong, get the message. And it might take you a year, it might take you 50 years. before the light bulb goes off. But the Archangel Chamuel comes in because through that whole process, no matter how long or how short it takes you to get to that learning experience, it's really important to be very gentle with yourself. And we, as a society, are not easy on ourselves. We are constantly criticizing ourselves. And you might have these judgmental inner critic thoughts in your mind, but you're not really like realizing it. But then you're attracting all these people into your life that do that. And that is because they are reflecting back to you something inside of yourself that you need to work on. Everything that we experience in this lifetime is for inner review. And so the Archangel Chamuel is coming in to help you because it's healing to the heart space. It's gentle. When you're gentler, when you're more peaceful, when you let go of these lower energies like judgment, like criticizing, like berating, like being moody, miserable. When you let go of those things and allow your heart to expand more and love yourself, by doing that, by just realizing that you're doing it and letting it go, this Archangel can help you through the process and open up the heart and open up the heart space so that you really attract what you actually want. But you cannot attract to you what you want if you don't first be that. So I hope that this resonated with you. This is a great Archangel. And if you chose this card, inner reflection, self-reflection is important to do at this time. That is our second card, and we don't need anything to go with that. And then our final card is coming from the crystal angels. And the crystal that is coming through is moonstone. And the actual message behind this is your intuition is heightening. Be extra aware of your inner knowingness. It's trustworthy. Moonstone is the crystal that actually helps us with feminine energies. And your intuition, as it grows, or as you embrace your gifts, because we all have them, and as you embrace your gifts, you allow yourself, you open up your heart, coming from card number 2, and you open up your heart to the point where you accept these gifts that you have, your intuition will increase. It will accelerate. It will heighten. And you'll begin to get blips of moments of messages or signs or synchronicities that you're actually aware of. You know, it happens to me and I laugh when it happens, or it happens in a card reading with a client and they know if you're listening, I'm always like, because it all comes together. When your intuition is heightening, you're able to realize that all of these synchronicities that are happening for you are happening because you're allowing yourself to open up and expand to your divine feminine energies. And the crystal to work with is moonstone. And the archangel to work with is the Archangel Haniel. And if you chose card number 3, it's because your intuition is heightening. And maybe you had something happen during Monday, the super new moon in Pisces, which is the most intuitive sign. And maybe there was something in that week, this past week, that, you know, you were like, wow, I'm getting it now. It is important for you as you go through this process to balance yourself. And that's the second card. And it's upside down, which means pay attention. But when you're going through this process, it's important to balance out the energies. And that's just a whole nother thing that if you are interested in hearing more of, you should reach out to me. But I hope that this week's different variety of messages helped and served you in some way. I wish you guys a great week, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.